I'm Colonel Steve Akeley. Since I live in St. Louis, I find myself traveling to bourbon country by myself quite frequently. Exploring the best that Kentucky has to offer by yourself is actually quite fun. When it comes to drinking bourbon though, that's something that I like to do with my friends. Inevitably, when you are drinking bourbon, you end up talking about things that you used to do. Fun things that you used to enjoy on TV, pop culture, that type of thing. And that's exactly what this show is. We're gonna get together with some friends, drink, and we're gonna reminisce. Welcome to Bourbon Reminiscing.
Wait, you know who Lady Gaga is?
I've seen it on television.
It was iconic and disturbing.
Both, very much.
Both.
I love the reaction picture where you see everybody in the audience
Yes.
kind of like, but Rihanna was like, yes.
To like work that dress. So do you think it had like a mesh or something under it, or was the meat touching her?
God, I hope it had
I hope it had something
The
under
thought
it.
of like that.
Oh,
Because I bet when you
covered
put
in
it on,
meat.
it was like cold.
Yes.
Like cold cuts.
But then
and
it
then
would
it
get
would warm.
hot.
And then it probably stunk.
A lot of good steaks gone to waste on that.
Yeah, well,
Did she have a hat? Did she have a type of veil, or was it just
I
a
don't
straight
remember, but
dress?
it's
Only music I listen to is is country. George Jones. I don't listen to they ain't got no country singers now to start with. They're all dead.
Yeah. What if Lady Gaga sang country?
I don't
Ooh.
I don't think she
Like
could.
lightning.
She ain't no George, is she, Papa?
No George.
Huh.
whatever, Lady Gaga.
Who was the drunken imbecile who said, you know what, you need a dress of meat?
Yeah.
More meat on your dress. Still talking about it. It was like 10 years ago. People still talk about it.
Would you ever date a woman that wore a meat dress?
No. Absolutely not.
Well, think about the barbecue opportunities, though. She shows up and be like, I'm ready to go out. You take her out for a nice night, then you come home and grill some ribeyes.
Yeah.
It's all right there.
Yeah.
And it
be
was
honest.
probably, I can't say the M word, it was probably
It probably
after a
was.
while. That's
It probably
just- I
was.
hope it had something that wasn't touching your skin.
Yeah. Would you wear one?
Absolutely not. Would you?
Well,
You're thinking about
I was
it.
trying to think. What I was trying to think was, is there enough money in the world where I would wear that? Or, like, is there a designer that I would be like, okay, for you, I'll wear the meat dress?
I feel like if Steve Akeley gave me $1 million, I'd wear a meat dress.
Only if Steve Akeley gave you $1 million?
Only Steve Akeley.
Okay. I think I might take $1 million from anyone and wear the meat dress.
Clearly, this is our expert here.
I don't know. Lady Gaga, I've seen her on television.
What do you think about her?
She wore a dress made out of meat, just like raw steak and ribeyes and whatnot.
She don't wear nothing much.
Huh? Did you didn't see that show where she did that?
No.
I never was a big Kmart guy. I do remember though, I feel like they had like popcorn and hot dogs all the time. They had like a little concession stand up front. But I didn't do a lot of Kmarting back in my day.
We didn't have a Kmart in my hometown either. We always had to drive a good, 30 minutes or so away to get to a Kmart. But whenever we did, it was always like, just looked like a smaller Walmart to us. So they didn't stick around for very long after the economy started kind of going downhill a little bit.
I love
Closed.
Kmart, yeah. I'm sad it's gone. Like used to, you got all your like sports memorabilia for super cheap.
Yeah, I bought golf balls. That's about all I ever bought at Kmart because you could go in and buy I guess they sold the ones that people pick out of the lakes.
Oh,
And you
really?
could buy like a giant bag of golf balls there for like $10. So that's where I always got my golf balls. But I mean, I do remember hearing the blue light specials and all that
Yeah.
stuff, but I didn't frequent Kmart as much.
I didn't either.
Now, Kmart, you, back in the day, I bet you went to Kmart. Because when I was a kid, they had the blue light specials, and you might be in the store and you hear something going on over in the camera department, blue light. Even if you don't need it, you're heading over there.
No.
See what the deal is. Yeah, you are. You're seeing what that deal is.
No.
Oh, they're blowing things out.
What can you say about Kmart that hasn't been said already? That was like the fanciest place that my parents would take me school shopping for school clothes. It's like
Really?
Yeah.
We had Venture. Remember Venture? I didn't go to Kmart. I think I went to Kmart once. It was so exotic. It was so different, but the same as all the rest of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kmart.
Attention Kmart shoppers.
very-
There's a blue light
I'm very
special
seldom.
on men's underwear.
Birth few
Get over here. We got boxers on sale. Papaw, come on over here.
Papa ain't bought a string of clothes in 52 years.
Since you married, that's how long you've been married.
What came first, Kmart or Walmart? I would bet Walmart came first.
I don't know.
That all depends on where you were.
Yeah,
I mean, you're in
so.
Iowa,
Yeah,
so
I was in Iowa, so I think we had a Kmart before we had a Walmart. So.
you guys do have a lot of backwards things
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Everything. I have to get myself straightened out whenever I come down here, and then reverse everything when I go back.
It's like Bizarro Land. It's great.
There was one in Louisville that right before, like I guess right at their last gasp was, let's make a super Kmart, and they added like a really small grocery area, and they tried to add some like newer things, and it like crapped out really quick, and it was gone. And I've seen a lot of old empty Kmart buildings. I don't know if there's any exist in this area anymore. I don't know about.
I know the one that I was talking about having back whenever I was growing up. It's gone now.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're all gone. It's try to go against Walmart and you go down. I don't know what to tell you. It's just one of those things.
Goliath took them down.
There's one in a neighboring town, and we can go to it every now and then. But what's going to happen to Joe Boxer? That's like where Joe Boxer, you bought all that stuff.
I mean, all it is now is empty buildings. We got 5 of them in New Orleans, and they're all just vacant buildings
Oh,
now.
wow.
So.
Yeah, ours is empty. It was sad when they closed.
Oh, well, okay. I get it. I'm cool with that. There's one person you got to buy it for, though, Nana. Yeah.
Don't buy for her either.
He give Mama a couple $100 and tell her to get her something nice.
Something nice.
Yeah,
there could be something said for that.
I bet you've never been to the grocery store or anything, have you, Papaw?
No.
I didn't think so.
Grocery store.
Harry Potter. Ooh.
I feel very good about Harry Potter.
I don't know.
Do you want me to tell you how good I feel about Harry Potter?
Did you bring your wand?
I didn't bring the wand, but the wand has like a space on a shelf in my house.
Really?
It does.
People love the Harry Potter.
That's another no.
Wow.
Sorry.
8 films, culture.
Sorry. I like culture, just not. Lady Gaga wants to be Madonna so bad that she can't stand herself.
Oh, we're back to Lady Gaga.
Just for a minute.
Right.
I love Harry Potter. I never got into it.
What?
Never got into it.
Okay. Why?
So it came out, I was probably in 4th or 5th grade when those books got big here.
Yeah.
And they were huge books. And I'm like, not gonna do it. Not reading those.
Really?
People, my wife can't get enough of the Harry Potter. I love it. She uses words I don't understand in the context.
That would be a problem.
Yeah, I know Snape's a bad guy, but he's not really a bad guy. That's about all I know.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's Alan Rickman. That's about all I know.
This is like the modern type of drew a blank. Sorry. What's the
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's like the modern version of that.
It's nothing like that.
It's not.
But it's actually really fun.
But you
so
get
I'm
dressed
gonna
up,
let
you
you
got
have
your robes
an
on.
enjoyment factor of that. Yeah. Okay. So did you go and have like fishnet stockings at a movie theater, channeling
I just do
Rocky
that on a
Horror?
Friday night, yeah.
Friday night.
I was at the beach and I was looking for like an audiobook or something, so I put that on and I listened to the first book and I was totally hooked. And then it did not matter how long they were. And I'm not a huge reader, but those I like powered through all of them. And when the last one came out, I remember like I think I went at midnight and got the last book and I went straight to the gym and I got on the elliptical machine and I was on the elliptical machine for like 3 hours just reading because I could keep my kids were really young at the time and I could keep them in the nursery at the gym. So I just kept reading on the elliptical machine so that I could get through that thing. And then I read all the follow-ups and the play that was out. And yeah, I would say I'm not like an obsessive fan, but I'm certainly a fan.
Have you been to Universal?
I have.
A lot of money they made on this.
I understand.
She's wealthier than the Queen, I think is what they say.
That's
J.K.
good.
Rowling.
Is she married?
It's me. It might be looking.
I took my kids, and you can go to the place where you can get the wand at Ollivanders.
Yeah.
And they only pick like one kid to do like the show where you get to be selected to get the wand, and I stacked it so I took one kid in once. And when we went in like super early, there was only like one other kid and he was a lot older, and I'm like, yeah, my kid's gonna get to do this one. So he got to do the first round, and then my other kid went in later and he went in like all of his Harry Potter stuff, and he looks like him too, and he's got like curly hair and glasses, and they picked him too, so they both got to do the show. I was living a little vicariously, I'm gonna be honest.
That's why you have kids.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, we've done the whole experience, everything. Yeah. Big fan.
The only thing those things ever did for me, other than just break, they just gave me an excuse to get out of my desk in class and just move around. I get to sharpen.
I mean, I don't like. If you've ever had number 3 pencils.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Or number 5 pencils. Yeah, number 2 pencils are the fucking deal, because that's the only thing the Scantron worked with.
So they had like the really cheap generic ones that you would start cranking on and they would start chipping off and the lead would fall out of the top of it, and all of a sudden you get, it only lasts like a day or so and you were just constantly cranking on those things. I preferred the ones that were round. They had the ones that were like, I guess they were kind of grooved and they were notched around where you could grip. They had some that were just completely smooth and round. They had like the thicker number 2 lead in it. That was the one I had to go to. I had to have that one. My handwriting's terrible. And I write really hard, so the fine tip ones would just break and break and break.
Yeah. Scantrons.
Yeah, you had to have
There was no other way. Do they even make other pencils other than number 2?
I don't know. Like, I feel like,
Is there
you
one
had
and a half?
the name brand pencils, but like maybe the parents that bought like Rose Art got like number 3 pencils. I don't know.
No,
that's not a thing.
Substandard pencils.
Yeah.
You can't have those.
Nobody
it had
gets
to be the
those.
Ticonderogas.
Correct.
That you and you had to get up and you had to go to the pencil sharpener that was attached to the wall.
Yeah.
And this is when you would make sure that your outfit was good for the
So I was
day,
going to say,
right?
did you have anxiety about the pencil
Yes,
sharpener?
yes,
Because you had
yes.
to like make sure everything was in place.
Yes,
And
yes.
if everything was quiet, you didn't want to be the person walking up there to make that noise.
Right.
So it had to be when class was already doing something.
Number 2 pencils.
Number 2 pencils are like the look of like a well-used, well-sharpened number 2 pencil, in someone's hand is like
That
the cool...
statement didn't make any sense.
Really?
Well used and well sharpened don't make sense at the same time.
Well, it's like it's not as long. It's not a brand new with like the perfect eraser and all that stuff, but it looks like they've been.
It's been whittled down. It is sharpened.
Yeah. No.
Is
It might
there
have
an
a blunt tip.
eraser?
It might have a blunt tip.
Okay.
Yeah, and the eraser's kind of rounded off because it's been used, but not too much. But it's like they've been doing equations or something like that. It's just.
Just making the normal amount of mistakes.
Yeah. Just make or maybe less than average.
There's probably a right ratio of use of the pencil to use of the eraser that you're supposed to follow by. And some people are heavier erasers. And some people,
I'm always like eraser first. Like my eraser's gone. If I use one, my eraser's gone. I got a ton of pencil meat left. Before they're or
you mess
after
up a lot, don't you? Yeah.
I have to buy those ones they have to put on the ends of them and stuff. So
You had to have like a number 1. It's like that one big fat one. You're like,
so it was the size.
around with.
You're saying that the number was proportional.
I don't know what the size is.
What I'm saying is, what you're telling me is that the number was a reference to the girth.
May have been.
I mean, the standardized tests always called for number 2 pencils as well. So we always had to keep a whole bag full of number 2 pencils in school. But what I noticed on those round ones that you were talking about was they always ended up sharpening not even all the way around. So like one side of it would get a little deeper than the other side, but the ones that have the ridges around it, they would sharpen a little bit better, but they always hurt your finger.
Yep.
Whenever you write with them too much. So I agree. I like these round ones better, but I hated that they didn't sharpen uniformly all the way around.
So the best thing that ever happened, because it got rid of the pencil sharpener, was mechanical pencils.
Yes.
And you could get still number 2 lead. I'm pretty sure whatever that means. I don't understand
the darkness,
the pencil thing.
I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mechanical ones were amazing.
I'm still a huge. I
like
only
those.
use mechanical pencils.
And then we had the ones that had like the little things that you could shove in the bottom and make it. Those were horrible because if you lost a piece,
you couldn't use the whole thing.
You're just screwed
because there was nothing to push it all the way down.
Good pencil.
And did you have the ones that had the different colors all the way down?
I love those too.
But then you had to like pull it. Like I got to get to orange, so I got to go all the way through the thing again to get to the orange. So and then you're like, oh, now I need yellow, and it's all the way at the top again.
It was a whole process.
We had it tough.
It was rough.
The kids today,
they just get their own little iPads. They don't have to worry about number 2 pencils.
They just do it all digitally. No struggle like we had.
No struggle.
Oh my God, I'm going to send you erasers.
Yes.
For your birthday.
Old Forster erasers? That'd be awesome.
We can't do things like that. That appeals to children.
Oh, yeah, no.
And Jeff from Iowa.
Yeah. And immature Iowans, I guess. So, on that note.
And you had 2 different types. You had this one that had the yellow stripes around it, and then you had the other ones. What were the other ones?
The yellow stripes.
Yeah,
the whole
there
thing
was 2
yellow.
There was like 2 different brands, and you either had one brand or you had the other brand.
I think number 2 was the brand.
No, goddamn, it wasn't. You had 2 different brands, and the one was the shitty brand, and the one was the good brand. And that was the deal.
How do you mess up a number 2 pencil?
I don't know. It's like freaking Coke and Pepsi or something. There was 2 brands of number 2 pencil. There was. And the one was a yellow brand that had the stripes around the eraser. They had some kind of green bullshit around the eraser. Yes. Look it up. Google it. Google it.
Oh, you like Velveeta cheese?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. Boy, it melts nice, doesn't it?
Makes macaroni pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love Velveeta cheese.
I do too.
I will not knock it. I know it knocks me down on the gourmet culinary side of thing, but my jam in high school that got me through many a night when I had to cook for myself was Velveeta mac and shells. Velveeta and shells.
I don't really think this is something you can reminisce about because I still eat it.
I love Velveeta.
I mean, it's not a distant memory for me, like last week maybe.
Well, my mother used it quite a bit in her cooking. And, it was just, we had Velveeta cheese, and then she had some kind of freaking slicer.
Oh, with a little wire you bring them down.
Yeah, wire slicer, and you put a big block of Velveeta in there with the wire slicer. Oh, it's freaking
I think
awesome.
I'm more accustomed to it just in like the macaroni and cheese.
And what pissed me off about Velveeta cheese is she tried to trump it up and say it's a toasted cheese sandwich. Like, this is a freaking grilled cheese. It's 2 pieces of bread with some cheese on it.
Well, it kind of depends on what you do with it.
But then she was like,
if you put it in the oven, it could be a toasted cheese sandwich.
Are you kidding me? It's a toasted cheese sandwich.
I'm not kidding. That's
2 pieces of freaking bread with a piece of Velveeta on it, which is the cheapest cheese out there. It's not even cheese.
Right.
It's not even cheese.
Okay, because what if she uses a toaster? Is grilled chicken the same as baked chicken?
No. God,
that's kind of what she's.
Dude, she tried to trump it up like, I'm fixing you a great lunch. I'm like, your ass. You're not doing anything.
I like grilled cheese.
This is a piece of cheese with 2 pieces of freaking bread.
I like grilled cheese. I think it's a great lunch.
I don't care for it.
Well, if you dip it in some tomato soup.
Now it goes there.
You ever have a toasted cheese sandwich with Velveeta? You gotta be careful though, because it'll be hot dripping out of there.
You like grilled cheese? You eat grilled cheese sandwiches?
I've eaten a few.
He's eaten a few.
But most of the time, with the macaroni, that Velveeta makes macaroni better than other cheese does.
We always have macaroni. Thanksgiving. Any meal Nana fixes has got macaroni and cheese in it.
So the secret ingredient, Velveeta.
Velveeta cheese.
Velveeta.
I buy it sometimes. I know it's bad for you. Don't know what's in it.
So good. It's like magic.
I'm sure there's plenty of chemicals in it, but
Velveeta cheese, it's one of the natural cheeses, right? The French, they make cheddar and brie and Velveeta, I think.
That's a
I
fantastic
said nothing
lunch.
about tomato soup. Now, I hate tomato soup.
You hate tomato soup.
Hate fucking tomato
You
soup.
like Bloody Marys?
I like Bloody Marys, but I hate tomato soup.
That's interesting. What about tomato juice?
I love tomato juice, but I hate tomato soup. It's stupid. I hate ketchup. I don't eat ketchup at
You
all.
hate
Never
ketchup?
ate ketchup. Never. I don't eat ketchup.
What about mustard?
I love mustard, but I don't. I hate ketchup. I hate ketchup and tomato soup, but I love tomatoes. Is that wrong?
Well, it's just, you know.
Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
Why is that?
It's. I mean, I just feel like if you like tomatoes, you got to, you know, cross the whole board there.
No.
You know,
Ketchup's too sweet and bullshit.
I like ketchup. Do you like cocktail sauce? That's just ketchup and horseradish.
No, I know. I've made it. I cook occasionally.
I figured
I cook occasionally. Just a bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. All right.
I am not ashamed to admit there is an emergency box of Velveeta shells in my pantry at home in case I run out of all food options. It's still a go-to. That and the Tombstone pizza. Those are my in case of emergency foods.
In case of the apocalypse.
Or in case there's no other food in the house, whichever comes first.
Yeah.
All you need is a pot of boiling water and a strainer.
Don't need that, really.
It's true. You can do whatever you can find.
I've eaten out of the box before.
I'm sure some have eaten directly from the cheesy pouch that comes with it.
So the first time I saw it, I hated it.
Me too.
And then watched it again,
Yes.
and it's so good.
Yeah, okay,
It's
same
so
thing.
good.
We immediately started it over after we
Yeah.
were like, what the hell did we just watch?
Yes.
So then we started it over and laughed the whole way
Oh
through
my gosh,
it.
and it's so quotable. It was one of the first
Yes.
quotable movies.
Absolutely.
It was so good.
And the dance and
Yes.
the at the end and the moon boots and
Pedro
everything.
for president.
Yes.
It's a classic, and every now and again, especially if I'm on stage somewhere, I'll just start dancing, just because I have to. Or
Oh no.
you have to
Vote for Pedro.
Exactly.
This is great. This is really great. Interpretive dance? Yes. That's all I remember. No, I remember a lot of it. I watched that movie probably too many times in the prime of watching that movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the thing. When it came out, and then, you know, I rented it. I had to rent it on DVD. Like, I had to go into a Blockbuster and rent it on DVD.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm serious. But I had to go in there and rent it, and I wanted to see it so bad because I saw a preview for it. All it was Napoleon Dynamite sitting there looking in the shop window, or in the thrift store, looking at that orange like leisure suit, you know, with like a cummerbund and all stuff, and he's like, "That suit's just awesome."
4 stars.
1 star. The problem with that, I think, for me, is that everyone saw it and told me how great it was and hyped the hell out of it. And so by the time I finally sat down to watch it, I thought it was the stupidest thing on film.
Well, that's why it was great, because it was stupid.
How many times did you watch it?
Once.
That's your mistake. Even I, when I watched it the first time, my initial thought was, what the hell did I just watch? But when I went back and watched it again, I had a much better appreciation for it. And every time I watch it, it gets better and better.
Kind of like Pulp Fiction. You have to watch it before you understand it.
So it was about 2 years ago. I was over at a Subway. I was just sitting there, minding my own business, eating, and I look over, and there's these 2 middle-aged guys. One guy was, obviously he was Hispanic, he had dark hair coming down. The other guy was taller than him, had glasses, had the blonde fro, and a white t-shirt on. And the 2 of those standing together were the most priceless thing I've ever seen in my life. It looked like
Do you
older
think they
version.
knew? Did they do it on purpose?
I don't
were
know
they
if they
assuming
did,
the
but
persona?
they were just priceless standing there. And I'm laughing my ass off, and they're just like, ordering their Subway.
I also really love the Star Spangled Pants on the karate instructor.
Yes.
That made me really happy, and like, kind of thing. It's good.
What they do? What was
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that became an iconic T-shirt like almost immediately.
And then his uncle, like everybody has a weird uncle, and he just like encapsulated that, and it was so good.
Yes, I can throw that football clear over the mountains. And then what was it? The one where he went and would try to fight the taekwondo guy. He was like, jeez.
And then I was like, Tina, you fat lard.
Yes. My kids quote that to each other all the time.
Still, like I'll still say that.
Yeah. And my son has really curly hair and is tall and like, so I'm dying for him to go for that as Halloween.
That's
all we need to get are like the wireframe glasses and the Vote for Pedro shirt.
Perfect.
If I had to list movies from greatness to non-greatness, that would be in the top 3 of greatest movies ever.
Okay.
No budget, simple, funny. Did you think it was funny? It was funny.
All I remember is Vote for Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
John Heater? He's Napoleon Dynamite. He hasn't exactly gone on to do a whole lot more in 2019.
There's not a whole lot of room for actors who play dumbasses.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. And you get typecast.
Sticking with my 1 star, though.
Come on, man.
Well, we don't have to agree.
Pedro?
All right, Pedro was a highlight. Pedro was
You don't
You
remember?
memorized the whole movie.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I'm kind of a
Watched
savant
it
that way.
yesterday.
No, I didn't. But I remember watching that, and then I remember seeing the movie, and it just—I don't know why. The first time I watched it, didn't click with me. I thought it was. I honestly thought it was a documentary about people in Ohio, and I thought Ohio is a weird place, because you know how people. What? It's based in Ohio, I think, isn't it? No, it's not. It is. I think it's based in Ohio.
No, it's
Idaho.
Yeah.
Is it Idaho? Okay. Jeez, sorry about that.
You thought it was a documentary?
What's that?
You thought it was a documentary?
No, it kind of just had that feel, and it was like it wasn't as funny as I thought it would be the first time I watched it. Who's that? I've never even heard of it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's like, turn it off now.
Yeah. When I was younger, I'd walk back to my grandma's house and I'd watch it, and it was like, happy little tree here, and it was so boring, but for some reason,
you're mesmerized by it.
And I look back and I'm like, I used to waste hours of my life just sitting here watching
No,
this.
I had bad hair, and he had worse hair. But I had like mullet and shit like that, and I was like, okay, let me check this guy out, see what's going on. And it was bad.
I didn't really watch Bob Ross a whole lot when he was living and was the artist, but I think he really made mainstream for 2 things. When Will Ferrell did his imitation of him, and then when when Ryan Reynolds did his imitation of it, I thought that just brought him back and was priceless.
Yeah, that's true.
And I don't think anybody...
Bob Ross.
Exactly. I enjoyed watching his stuff now, but I didn't really get into it when he was alive.
I didn't watch it as a fandom thing, but happy trees.
Yeah.
Just little happy trees. And we don't feel very great about the day, but the tree is happy. And we're just going to follow the tree, and we're just going to let him make us happier as we grow with the tree.
Happy little trees.
There's no such thing as mistakes, only happy accidents. I mean,
I didn't pay that close of attention. There's philosophical underlying.
Yeah, only happy accident. I mean, who couldn't live by that mantra? There's no mistakes, only happy accidents.
That would be a mantra you would appreciate.
Yeah.
The person that overuses pencil erasers as much as you do, I would think.
Well, yeah. It's like, and then the thing, you don't even have to erase them. You just have to just leave them.
He was great.
Yeah.
But how many people ever actually made a Bob Ross painting at home? Followed along?
Not me.
You can watch.
Yeah.
I think the episodes are still up. You can stream all the episodes.
Oh,
so you can pause and catch up with them.
It was.
I go back and watch. You can go on YouTube watch these old episodes.
I watched a lot of the food show, the cooks and shit.
I wonder what
didn't
happened
watch
to the
the painting
paintings that he
shows.
painted on the TV show. I mean, could you buy them, or
I don't know. Probably worth thousands of dollars.
Because he died, right?
I think he's dead. Possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
He kind of experienced a little bit of a renaissance.
What's his name?
Bob Ross.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Bob Ross?
Boss Hog?
Boss Hog.
Okay, that's where you get
Boss Hog's a different story. Dukes of Hazzard, but no, Bob, yeah, I don't like it.
Bobby Ross,
You're
not a fan of.
No, I'm not a fan.
And I would agree.
And he did some, whatever. I'm out. I'm out.
He was a cultural icon.
And for that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I'm out. He was a cultural icon.
Whatever.
For no reason, but
for your generation. I'm a little bit older than you. Like what, 10 or 20 fucking years older than you.
I think Bob Ross was a babysitter for. That's about what he was. He was a good babysitter. Here, kid, just watch this.
You sat there.
Yeah, I sat there for an hour just.
It was awesome. No, I'm out. It was like SpongeBob or something. All right.
And then I have a T-shirt with the afro.
Yes.
On it, just because everywhere you go knows
I
that
should
the
have worn
afro
mine. I have
is
a
Bob.
picture of me in that same scene with the afro.
You have an afro?
Oh, with me with afro, correct.
Was it a natural afro? Or did you wig it up?
It was just a wig that was put on after the
I
fact.
still respect it. I still respect it. Yeah, you gotta love happy trees.
Yeah, I watch those. My son's really into art, and so I've been showing him Bob Ross painting, or Bob Ross videos. He loves watching those because I mean everything to a kid. Like now you look at him and you're kind of like, okay, yeah, that looks like a painting. But when you were a kid, it looked like a picture. It looked like a picture of what he was drawing. Don't you remember? Or no,
No,
you
I
didn't get that?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And the hair and the squirrels.
The hair, all of it.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep. He was just like an awesome dude. There's no. I mean,
Bob Ross.
someone to aspire to.
To Bob.
Yes, to Bob. Do you have a Bigfoot story?
No, there's two types of people in this world.
Yeah.
People that believe the Bigfoot could or does exist, and the people that are like, that's complete bullshit.
Yep.
What are you?
Doesn't exist. I think we would have found him by now.
And now we've found out where we differ. Besides, you make a lot of mistakes.
This is the fork in the road here, yeah.
What do you think? Real? You think Bigfoot's out there?
Sasquatch.
The Yetis?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
I don't think we'd have found it by now?
Nah.
I'm like of the I want to believe culture.
Yeah. I want to believe it's out there, but give me some proof.
Hey, what kind of bourbon do you think Bigfoot drinks?
Booker's.
Wow! That was very definitive. Big man, big bourbon? I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Steve could be Bigfoot. I mean, there have been sightings of Steve as Bigfoot, yes.
What would you do if you saw Bigfoot? I think I have an idea, but I'm going to go ahead and ask the question.
You fellas can tell you what you want to do, but I don't think there's such a thing as a Bigfoot.
Really? What about all the people that have seen him? I could line up person after person that's seen him. And there's that one photo where he's walking kind of like this.
You better stop and ask him what they're on.
You don't believe in Bigfoot?
No.
What if you did see him? So say you're walking around here behind the still. There's some woods and stuff like around here. What if you saw a Bigfoot just in the shadows?
Bigfoot would be shot if I could shoot it.
Okay, so first of all, Bigfoot, are you a believer or do you think it's a fake?
I want to believe.
You want to believe?
I really
Okay.
do. Every time I go up north, like northern Michigan, like almost the UP, I want to like be walking around in the woods and be like, a patch of fur, a huge footprint. Let's cast it. But
I think those stories are true. I've got a friend of mine who him and his wife have done Bigfoot hunting. They've taken people out on like scavengers to try to find it and tours. Not here, but they were up in the Northwest and they were also up in Pennsylvania doing it.
Why is everything cool in the Pacific Northwest?
Well, it was kind of cool here too, but I think if we had a Bigfoot here, I think people would just think it was totally made up.
Yeah, I don't know that they would buy into it either.
We don't really have the forest here for it,
Yeah.
but I personally believe, I think it's one of the best things out there. I just don't see how you can have a whole family of them and no one seems to be able to get like a family portrait or a family photo of the whole group.
How can you not be open to the possibility?
I am, but I think with all the charter territory we have now, we would have found him by now. I mean, every single piece of evidence that we have currently turns out to be a hoax. The big feet impressions, that you see in the museums. I saw there's a restaurant in Iowa that had a Bigfoot's tooth, and it was clearly not a Bigfoot's tooth. Yeah,
I
know. Harry and the Hendersons, that was a movie about Bigfoot. That was a good one.
Funny enough. Good. 2.5 stars.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the
Loved
Hendersons,
that show growing up. It was so cool. Who wouldn't want a Harry hanging around?
Yeah.
So,
We
yeah.
got Steve though, so
Yeah, he makes up, definitely.
Steve could be our Bigfoot.
You know, on Harry and the Hendersons, at
Great
the
movie.
end, where he like comes out from behind the tree and he's like happy in the wilderness, and then like another tree moves and it's his wife, and then like another tree moves and it's his daughter, and then they're like this
the
happy
daughter
little
and the kid,
Sasquatch family. And they
Do you
leave.
still call them Big Feet?
I mean, I guess they're bigger than other kids' feet, so why not?
Maybe. What if they're just like little people?
Yeah, I really like Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry the Henderson was a classic.
That was like when I got into Bigfoot just a little bit, because I was like, look, I can relate to this Bigfoot. Like when the lady is getting in the hot tub, and then the other lady is making the soup, and they're like lowering the chicken into the soup, and then he sees the people lowering the person into the hot tub, and he's like, he's compassionate. I think the Bigfoots would be like that.
I think they would be.
They also had the Harry and the Hendersons sculpture from Universal Studios right in front of it, so you go take pictures
Stop.
of it. Yeah, my kids were terrified.
Great movie.
Oh man,
I watched it not that long ago too.
Yeah,
Like the whole thing.
You gotta watch it like every 4 or 5 years, I think, just to keep up.
That's quite frequent.
Really? That's
I think
even
that's a little
5
too
years?
soon. Yeah,
half a
that's
decade?
Maybe
Holy
like
cow.
every 10 years.
Every 10 years?
You could
Okay.
do a 10-year anniversary
Yeah.
of watching Harry and the Hendersons.
But yeah, no, that was a good movie. They hit it with their car, they bring it home with them, and they like
And fall in love.
fall in love. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
it's a love story,
yeah.
really.
And then they love it so much they have to let it go.
Yeah, it's about family,
Amazing.
loyalty,
Yeah.
surprise,
Yeah, and Bigfoot.
all kinds of shit.
And big feet.
Yeah.
Really big feet.
Steve kind of looks like Bigfoot, don't he?
I guess. I never did look at his feet.
You remember from years ago the good times we used to know. Come on in, join the crew, raise your glass, get ready for some laughs about the past.